Hello and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 KS Gate Demon Hunters. In this video, we are going to review the abilities for the Justicar class. We'll cover all the abilities as quickly as possible, and then I'll provide my thoughts on how you should build your Justicars. So starting off, the Justicar class gains +1 armor with their Aegis Shield ability, which is nice. If we kind of go over to core discipline, so that's the tree immediately around that's highlighted, we have a few different abilities. So let's start with the Terminator armor. This knight can now equip Terminator armor, which is nice. Willpower gain 2 willpower permanently. Health gain +4 max HP permanently. And then upgrade Cybolt damage. Cybolt gains +1 damage. If we head over to the right, we can unlock the range weapon upgrades. Here you can see we have an auto ability, rapid reload. When the knight's ammo reaches 0, they have a 50% chance to reload automatically. This is a very nice trait. However, I do recommend speccing the majority of your Justicars to be a little more melee focused, and you'll see why in a little bit. So leading into this, we can upgrade our crit. Range attacks have 10 plus into crit. The knight can now equip the side cannon range weapon, which is pretty nice. And then the knight's range attacks have +2 critical damage. We head up here to provoke discipline. This is where you're going to want to head if you want a more tanky class character. The passive ability, the knight gains +1 use or turn of their auto abilities. This is very nice, especially for some auto abilities that we're going to outline in a minute. We then have Enraged. Afflicted target attempts to melee attack the source of the affliction, which is nice. This ability gains +1 area, so if they're grouped up, you can hit them all. And then finally, Warp Charge activate to make this ability afflict crazed. 100% one turn. Afflicted targets will randomly attack their allies. So this is fantastic if you're well positioned and you can get a grouping of enemies. Dropping this tree fully upgraded or selected can have massive implications to enemies, not only attacking this Justicar if you build defensively and tanky, but also you can have them rip each other to shreds. If we head up, we have the Aegis Shield Discipline. So here, if we look at this, we have Fortress, Psychic Boom, targeted knight at any range to transfer all of this knight's armor for 1 turn. This is oddly a really nice move to have, especially if you find yourself out of position and you want to defend or protect a unit. From there, we have upgraded armor, +1 armor, which is always nice. Warp Charge activate to give this ability +3 armor. And then we have upgraded armor for another +1. So if we are heading over to the right where we're going to class tank, clearly you're going to want to go up and over to the right, which you need to do anyways to get there, and you're going to make a monster of a Justicar. I do recommend having one tank Justicar that goes up and over to the right, and then you're going to see how I kind of build out from there. So we're going to head over, just following this direction counterclockwise. Rend the Unclean Discipline. So here we gain willpower, which is always nice. Warp Charge activate to gain +1 blast area and +2 damage knockback, no stun. Then we gain 2 additional damage, and then the move itself, Rend the Unclean Strike at all targets within blast area 2 of this knight to deal 4 damage knockback, no stun. So this is great if you want to kind of run in there, knock everyone back and do AoE damage. I don't recommend doing too much or having too many Justicars go this class. This is kind of nice to pick up a little bit later, and it's also really nice to clear out some of those lobby enemies, especially those that kind of pop up behind you if your bloom hits 100%. So I don't have too many Justicars, and I haven't really leveraged Rend the Unclean. I could see having one Justicar with this situationally, but I would pick these moves up a little bit later because I think there's some better stuff in my opinion. So going over to the left, Hammerhead Discipline, and I should probably start with the move and then the upgrades. Psychic melee attack, strike at an adjacent target to deal 4 damage, 100% crit. Highly recommend that you pick this up and at least this move, if not fully upgraded. So you can upgrade for +1 crit damage. You can gain 2 willpower, which is important because this move does require willpower. And then you can activate this ability to inflict bleed. 100% 2 turns. Afflicted target suffers 2 damage per turn. So I personally like where we're heading because I'd probably come over and down for the vast majority of my Justicars. So with that in mind, let's go to melee discipline. Right, looking at this, we can gain the auto ability Ruthless Precision. Auto 50%, 1 turn. When this knight crits a target with a melee attack, they have a 50% chance to gain 1 AP automatically. This is phenomenal, and I recommend all of your Justicars pick up this auto ability. The name of the game is outputting as much damage as possible, and gaining those action points are absolutely critical. So the vast majority of my Justicars go over and down. And then after that, I probably pick up some more of the Aegis Shield disciplines in general. So that's my recommended build. So let's take a look at here. 4 strike gains +1 damage, which is nice. This nice 4 strike gain armor break 1. This is really important, especially for higher tiered, stronger enemies. And then upgrading the 4 strike. This knight 4 strike gains 1 armor break. So you can have 2 armor break. And this reduces the armor permanently of enemies by 2. So the vast majority of your Justicars I highly recommend over and down, especially picking up this auto ability to gain more action points. Alright, let's go down to leadership discipline here. You can gain an equipment slot. This is nice, but I don't think is hyper necessary. And then we have the target gains +1 AP, so you can share AP or give yourself extra AP, which is nice. Activate to give the target +2 AP and +1 willpower. That is nice. And then choose a net at any range to gain +1 AP. So this leadership discipline is nice because you're playing more like a support Justicar to help empower others. I personally have not invested a lot in leadership discipline. I do think it's situational, but having like a super aggressive Justicar and then one that can kind of supercharge them, that's more support, I could see working very well. Last but not least, we have a charge discipline. I, just given my playstyle, don't or haven't gone this direction that much, but there's some advantages to it. Run in a single direction up to range 10 to deal 1 damage, 1 stun, immune autos, knockback. So really good at covering a lot of distance quickly. +4 health permanently. The ability gains 1 +1 stun. Stun targets will be crit automatically. That is actually very nice. And then Hobbled, this ability gains Afflict Hobbled. Afflicted targets suffer -2 move speed. So taking a step back, my recommendation is I would recommend having 1, if not 2 Justicars fully focused on melee discipline, really focus on maximizing action points and outputting your damage. You know, I could see having 1 Justicar that's Provoke Discipline, and that's basically your tank. You put them out there to absorb all the damage with all their armor. And then I would throw heavy Terminator armor on there, so they'll be slower, but you know they're going to be able to take a punch. And I could see going kind of leadership into charge discipline. You know, I would probably realistically, I don't think I would use this tree, just because if I did, I would pair it with Aegis Shield Discipline to make sure that they're super tanky if I'm running out there. So that could be nice. But realistically, if I'm going to go for a leadership discipline, I'm probably going to pair that with some sort of range, right? Where I can kind of keep them in the back. And then I'm kind of buffing my frontline Justicars. So that is the review of the Justicar class and all the abilities. If you found this video helpful, please consider dropping a thumbs up. I hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast, out.